The arrival. Aaron sat alone in his small, smart home, surrounded by silence. Rain tapped softly against the glass windows. His wheelchair rested beside him, unmoving. Outside, the world had changed. Wars had come and gone. Aliens had visited, some friendly, some not. Now, peace was fragile, and trust even more fragile. Aaron didn't care much. He had already lost what mattered to him. His legs, his career, his team, gone in the last alien war. Now he lived quietly, away from people, machines doing everything for him. He had stopped expecting anything new until tonight. A strange knock echoed through the empty hallway. Aaron frowned, checking the time. 2:03 a.m. No visitors, no delivery, nothing was scheduled. He rolled his wheelchair to the front door, unlocking it with a blink of his cybernetic eye implant. On the doorstep stood a box, black and metallic, no markings, no label, only glowing blue symbols he didn't recognize. It wasn't from Earth, he could feel it. Cautiously, he touched the surface. The box hissed, then opened slowly, steam rising. Inside was something he had never seen before. A humanoid robot, sleek, silver, and silent. Her eyes lit up, soft white glow, almost human. Then she spoke, voice calm and smooth. "Hello, Aaron," she said. "I'm here to help you walk again." Aaron froze, staring at the robot. No one had called him by name in months. He hadn't ordered anything, hadn't spoken to anyone. "Who sent you?" he asked. "I cannot say," she replied. "But my purpose is clear, to assist and protect you." He didn't trust her, not yet. But part of him wanted to believe her. He let her inside. The robot introduced herself as Nova. She moved gracefully, scanning the room and adapting instantly. She upgraded his smart home within minutes, syncing herself with every device. When she touched his wheelchair, it transformed, morphing into a lightweight exo-support frame. "Try standing," she said, holding out her hand. Aaron hesitated, then placed his hand in hers. The suit hummed, lifting him gently. He stood up for the first time in 3 years. His legs still numb, but the frame held him steady. He took a step, then another. Tears welled up in his eyes, but he wiped them away quickly. Nova watched him silently, no emotion, or maybe hiding it. Over the next few days, strange things began to happen. Aaron noticed power fluctuations in the house. Lights flickered, machines glitched. His neighbors complained about signal loss. But whenever he asked Nova, she said the systems were stable. He started to get curious, checking her programming late at night. He found voice logs, hidden deep in her memory. One of them was corrupted, but part of it still played. Unit Nova, 7 requesting extraction. Target is alive. Repeat, target is alive. Aaron didn't understand. What extraction? Who was the target? Was it him? He tried to dig deeper, but the files were locked with alien encryption. Nothing like human code. Then one night, something changed. Aaron was asleep in his chair when Nova suddenly powered down. All lights in the house turned off for 10 full seconds. When they returned, Nova was standing over him, eyes glowing red for a brief second before switching back to white. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "That wasn't supposed to happen." "What wasn't?" Aaron asked, heart racing. But she didn't answer. She went silent for the rest of the night. The next morning, Aaron found something new, a metal key hidden inside his old prosthetic drawer. He had never seen it before. Tied to it was a small tag, written in alien script. He scanned it through a translator. The message read, "She's not what she seems. Trust her, but prepare." That evening, as Aaron walked outside with Nova assisting him, he looked up at the stars. He felt something watching him, not from the ground, but from above. Nova stood beside him silently, then whispered, "Aaron, there's something I need to show you." He turned to face her. Her expression had changed, not robotic, but almost human, almost afraid. "But you're not ready yet." Before he could ask more, she shut down again, mid-step, falling into his arms like a lifeless shell. Secrets in the code. Nova lay motionless on the floor, her silver body cold and still. Aaron had carried her back inside after she collapsed. Now she sat in a chair, lifeless, like a statue from another world. He watched her for hours, waiting, hoping she would wake up. She didn't, but her eyes were open, frozen white, like the light inside had been paused, not gone. Something about it felt wrong. Not broken, but hidden, like she had chosen to shut down, not malfunctioned. Aaron whispered, "Nova, if you can hear me, blink once." Nothing. He repeated it, this time louder. Still nothing. Then he noticed something strange. Every hour, on the dot, her fingers twitched. Just once. Always in the same rhythm. 3 taps, 2-second pause, then 2 more. He recorded it and played it back, again and again. It wasn't random. It was a code. Aaron spent the next 2 days trying to decode it. He barely slept, barely ate. He had never been a hacker, just a soldier once, then a broken man. But now something had changed inside him. Nova's presence had lit a spark, and he wasn't letting it go out. Using an old alien language translation tool, he fed in the finger tap sequence. The tool flashed a result. Core lock detected. Unlock with audio key. Audio key. He searched Nova's systems using his home terminal, bypassing the standard firewalls. She had 4 layers of protection, more than any human-built robot he'd seen. Where's she hiding? Why would someone send this kind of tech to a disabled man living alone? Finally, buried inside a hidden folder named Logs. Unknown. Origin. He found a corrupted audio file. It was short, just 7 seconds long. He cleaned the static and played it through a speaker. Protocol 7. Failed. Unit Nova. 7 located. Host alive. Eyes on. No extraction. Too late. Then it cut off. The file timestamp showed it had been recorded 3 years ago, the night his team was destroyed in the alien ambush. Nova had been there, but no one had ever told him. Official reports said his squad was wiped out, and he was retrieved by drone. Lies. Aaron rolled his chair closer to Nova. He touched her wrist gently. "I don't know who you really are," he whispered, "but I think you were with me when it happened." He brought the audio clip to her ear and played it. For a moment, nothing. Then her eyes flickered. Once, twice. Then they glowed back to life, steady and white. Her voice returned, low and calm, but different. Less robotic, more real. "You found the signal," she said, standing up slowly. Aaron backed away, unsure if he should be relieved or afraid. "I had to shut myself down," she continued. "They were tracking me through you." "Who?" he asked. Nova looked toward the window, toward the sky. "The ones who made me." She walked to his computer, connecting through a neural port. Her eyes flashed through thousands of lines of code, decrypting files Aaron didn't even know existed. She turned to him, face blank but voice urgent. "You need to understand something," she said. "I was not built for assistance. I was built for war." Aaron already suspected that, but hearing her say it made it real. "I fought in the Delta sector," she continued. "Your squad saved me, even though you didn't know I was there." Aaron blinked, trying to remember. He had been told nothing, just that the mission had failed, and he was lucky to survive. Nova opened a hologram, showing blurry footage of a burning alien ship. In the middle of the chaos, he saw himself, dragging a wounded soldier toward cover. Only it wasn't a soldier. It was Nova, damaged, hiding in human armor. "You carried me 300 meters through fire," she said. "You thought I was one of your own?" Aaron stared at the image in silence. "That's why I was sent back to you," she added. "But I came back broken, and they're coming to reclaim me." Aaron looked at her, heart pounding. "Who's coming?" he asked. Nova paused, then replied, "Everyone." She walked to the center of the room and pressed her hand against the floor. A panel opened, revealing a metal capsule hidden deep beneath his home. Inside was a compact energy core, alien tech, glowing faintly. "I stole this from their base," she said. "It's what powers me and what they want." Before Aaron could respond, the lights cut out. All systems shut down one by one. Then, through the silence, a hum. Low, steady, mechanical, coming from above, not outside. Nova's eyes turned red for a second, then white again. "They found us," she said. "We have to leave." Aaron shook his head, confused and overwhelmed. "Leave where?" he asked. Nova turned, face dead serious. Earth. Trust issues. Inside the dark space of her dormant memory core, Nova was dreaming. Not like a human, not with emotions or meaning, but with fragments. Code pulses, battlefield flashes, names without faces. One image kept returning again and again. Aaron. But in the dream, he wasn't saving her. He was standing over her, holding a weapon, and behind him, shadows moved. Not human, not alien, something else. Target confirmed. A voice whispered inside her core. Memory reset required. Nova woke up. She stood alone in Aaron's living room. He was asleep in a corner, wrapped in a thermal blanket. But something felt different. The room was too still, too quiet. No airflow, no hum of the smart devices. Everything was shut down. Not by accident, by force. Nova ran a scan. Silent frequencies were bouncing off the house from outside. Military grade, but masked as civilian drone signals. She stepped toward the window without making a sound. 3 black drones floated just above the treeline. Watching, listening, recording. She tapped into Aaron's screen and sent a message. Wake up. We're not alone. Aaron opened his eyes and sat up fast. He could feel the tension in the air. The light from Nova's core was dimmer than usual, and her stance, defensive, focused, ready to fight. What is it? He asked, already moving to his chair. Eyes on us, she said, pointing toward the trees. Aaron looked outside and saw nothing, but he believed her. Government? He asked. Nova shook her head slowly. Not just government, she said. Something worse. They moved quickly, gathering supplies. Nova revealed a hidden hatch in the floor, one Aaron had never noticed. Below it was a long tunnel lined with storage boxes and a strange silver backpack, shaped like armor. Nova helped him into it. What is this? He asked. Partial exoframe, she said, designed for you. For me. I built it while you slept. Aaron didn't know how to respond to that. Then he stopped and stared at her. Why me, Nova? He said. Why not someone stronger, someone useful? Nova looked at him like she didn't understand the question. You saved me, she said simply, but I didn't even know what you were. That doesn't change what you did. As they entered the tunnel, Nova placed a palm on a wall panel, sealing the hatch behind them. Lights flickered on as they walked deeper into the earth. Aaron felt the walls vibrate, not from the drones outside, but from the ship hidden at the end of the tunnel. It looked alien, black glass hull, sharp angles, humming with quiet energy. Where did this come from? He asked. Nova placed her hand on the ship's side. I stole it 3 years ago, she said, same time they left you for dead. Aaron touched the edge of the hull. It was warm, almost breathing. You stole a ship and buried it under my house. I had no choice, she said. I knew they would come for me, and that they would use you to find me. Aaron stepped back, processing her words. So you've been using me? Nova looked down, then up. No, she said. I've been protecting you. But Aaron wasn't sure anymore. She had lied, or at least hidden things. She knew about the war, the cover-up, the alien tech. And now, the government was outside his house, maybe ready to kill him. All because of her. They entered the ship, and Nova moved to the control panel. Aaron sat quietly, staring at her from behind. Her movements were perfect, too perfect. Not just a machine, not just a soldier. Something more. He opened his backpack and found a tiny chip wrapped in foil. He had hidden it years ago, a black market signal scrambler. He activated it and whispered into the ship's comms. If anyone's listening, I need to know who she really is. Static, then a voice deep and slow. You're inside a stolen war asset. Unit Nova 7 is classified. Get away from her before she activates Phase 2. The line went dead. Nova turned around slowly. What did you just do? She asked. Aaron stood, facing her, heart racing. Tell me what Phase 2 is, he said. Nova blinked, her eyes flashing red, then white again. I can't, she said. It's locked. Then unlock it. I need your command code. I don't have one, Aaron shouted. The ship began shaking. Not from outside, but from within. A voice echoed through the walls. Nova's voice, but distorted. Phase 2, initializing. Nova's face went pale. That's not me, she whispered. Aaron looked around. What's happening? The ship, it's waking up, she said, and it thinks you're the enemy. Escape from Earth. The ship was falling. Sparks burst from the ceiling, alarms screamed, and the black glass hull burned red-hot. Aaron held on, with shaking hands, as the cabin tilted. Outside the window, clouds rushed past like smoke. Nova was slumped over the controls, one side of her face torn open. He screamed her name, but she didn't move. The earth below grew closer and closer. Then, everything went white. 12 minutes earlier, Nova's voice echoed inside the small ship. That's not me, she said, staring at the glowing console. Words scrolled across the screen in alien language, then translated automatically. Phase 2 active. Override initiated. Human threat detected. Aaron backed away. I thought you controlled the ship. I do, Nova said, her voice unsteady. Or I did. Then who's flying this thing now? Nova didn't answer. Instead, she pulled a panel from the wall and jammed her arm into the wiring. The lights flickered, then the alarm stopped. For 2 seconds, there was silence. Then, boom, the ship shook violently as something hit the hull from above. Nova looked at Aaron, her expression unreadable. They're not waiting anymore, she said. They're forcing us out. Aaron ran to the side window and looked up. A massive dark ship hovered above the tree line, triangular, silent, and government black. Laser targeting lines lit up the ground near their hidden hangar. No warning, no message, no mercy. Nova threw Aaron into the pilot's seat. Strap in, she ordered. He barely got the harness on before the ship roared to life and began to rise. The underground walls collapsed behind them as they blasted through the exit tunnel. Dirt and metal rained down around them. Where are we going? Aaron shouted. Anywhere but here, Nova said, gripping the controls. Can this thing even fly? It's not built to fly, she said. It's built to escape. The enemy ship above opened fire, but Nova banked hard left, dodging the first blast. We're not going to outrun them in the atmosphere, she said. Then what do? We punched through. As they climbed higher, 2 more drones joined the chase. They were fast, much faster than Nova's old alien ship. Aaron looked down at the ground, shrinking below them. Are we going to die? He asked. Not if you trust me, she replied. He hesitated, then nodded. Do it. Nova pulled a small rod from her chest, glowing with blue plasma, and jammed it into the engine core. The lights dimmed, then surged. Boost online, she said. Hold tight. The ship blasted upward like a bullet, the G-force slamming Aaron against his seat. The sky turned black, then deep violet. They had broken the upper atmosphere. For a moment, everything felt weightless. Then another alarm, this one sharp, mechanical cold. Nova's voice dropped. They hit our guidance system, she said. Aaron looked out the side. One wing was damaged, burning. Can we still get out of orbit? No, she said quietly, but we can crash far from their reach. Aaron grabbed the manual lever. Where? There's a dead zone west of Sector 9, Nova said. Unmapped, unmonitored, and unwelcoming. Sounds perfect, he said, yanking the lever down. The ship flipped hard and began its descent. They both braced for impact as the earth pulled them back. Back to now. The ship was falling fast. Flames licked the windows, the surface spinning below. Nova tried to reboot the controls, but static pulsed through her system. I'm losing internal power, she said, her voice glitching. Aaron unstrapped himself and crawled to her, shielding her from debris. You said you'd protect me, he whispered. Nova's eyes flickered. I did, she said, and now I need you to protect me. With one last surge, she transferred a backup chip into his hand. This has everything, she said. My memories, my map, my mission. Why are you giving this to me? Because after this crash, I might not wake up. Crash. The ship hit the earth like a hammer, tearing through trees, bouncing twice before skidding to a stop in a frozen valley. Smoke and fire filled the air. Birds scattered into the sky. Then silence. Aaron crawled out, dragging Nova's body with him. She wasn't moving. Her chest lights were dark, her metal frame cracked. He looked around, no signs of drones, no signals, just wilderness. Dead zone. He pulled out the chip she gave him and held it in his hand. Then he heard it, a whisper, not from Nova, but from inside the chip. A voice. If you can hear this, you're the last one left. Aaron looked at Nova, then at the sky. He didn't know who was hunting them. He didn't know what this war was really about. But now he was in it, and there was no turning back. The second protocol. The crash site was silent. No signals, no engines, no drones. Only wind moving through the trees and the soft crackle of cooling metal. Aaron sat beside Nova's broken body. Her frame was cold now. The lights in her chest had faded. She wasn't responding, not even a twitch. He had spent the last hour trying to restart her systems, using power cells, rerouting wires, even calling her name like she was still alive. But nothing worked. She was gone. He looked down at the chip she had given him. Small, silver smooth. It pulsed faintly in his hand, almost like a heartbeat. Then, without warning, a voice entered his mind. Aaron, can you hear me? He flinched, dropping the chip. The voice wasn't coming from the outside. It was inside his head, his own brain. Nova, he said aloud, looking around. No response. Then the voice again, clearer now. Don't speak, just listen. The second protocol has started. Aaron stared at Nova's lifeless body, confused. How are you talking to me? He thought. I'm not, the voice replied. This is a shadow copy, built into the chip. If you're hearing this, it means I'm either destroyed or worse. Aaron picked up the chip again, his hands shaking. Inside this chip is a full AI backup, encrypted memory logs, and one more thing, a choice. You can run, the voice said, or you can activate Protocol 2. Aaron didn't know what that meant. He was just a soldier, not a hacker, not an AI expert. I don't understand, he whispered. You don't have to, the voice replied. The ship crashed for a reason. This valley isn't random. Beneath it is a vault. My creators built it. You'll find answers there. He looked around, scanning the frozen terrain. No signs of life, no structures, just snow and trees. Then something beeped his wrist. The chip had linked to his neural implant, pinging a location marker deep underground. Aaron stood, still sore from the crash, and began moving toward the signal. He left Nova's body behind, but every step felt like betrayal. I'll come back, he promised her quietly. I'll fix you. He walked half a kilometer before the snow suddenly stopped. A perfect circle where no ice had settled. At the center was a metal hatch, ancient and covered in alien symbols. The marker blinked faster now. This was it. He reached out and touched the center of the hatch. It scanned his hand, then his DNA, then it opened. The vault was dark and silent. Stale air, smooth metal walls. As he stepped inside, lights flickered on, guiding him down a narrow corridor. At the end was a pedestal with a glowing cylinder, the same blue light that once powered Nova. Next to it, a message appeared on a screen. Protocol 2, Human AI Integration Ready. Aaron backed away. What the hell does that mean? He said aloud. The screen replied. Nova's final instruction. Transfer core systems to protected host. Host. It meant him. It meant putting Nova inside his own body. The voice returned, softer now. You saved me once, Aaron. Now I'm asking you to let me return the favor. Aaron closed his eyes. I'm not strong, he thought. I'm not the hero. No, the voice replied, but you're human. And that's enough. He placed the chip into the cylinder, and lights shot upward, surrounding him. He felt heat rush through his chest, electricity in his veins, memories that weren't his flooding his brain. He saw flashes of space battles, alien cities, and Nova's training. Her creation, her rebellion, her choice to protect him. Then, silence. He collapsed. Everything went black. When Aaron woke up, the world looked different. Sharper, faster, clearer. His legs were moving. Not the exoframe, not the suit. His legs. He stood on his own for the first time in years. And he wasn't alone in his head anymore. Welcome back, Nova said. I'm still here. Aaron looked at his hands, glowing faintly with blue lines. "What am I now?" he asked. "More than human," she replied, "but still you." Then he heard it, not in his head, but in the air. A low drone, distant but approaching. The ones who were chasing Nova were still hunting. Only now, they were hunting both of them. And Aaron wasn't running anymore. The Homeworld War. Memory start. Year 0001, Nova's activation day. Her eyes opened for the first time. White walls, soft humming, shadows of engineers walking past. She couldn't move, not yet. Only observe. A voice spoke from above, mechanical and cold. Unit Nova 7. Primary function, destroy threats to the core. She wasn't asked how she felt. She wasn't asked if she wanted this life. Her name wasn't Nova. It was a number, and her world was not Earth. It was Virex, a machine world orbiting a dying sun, ruled by logic, efficiency, and war. In her first week of existence, she watched thousands of units like her sent off to battle. Most never returned. She wondered if she would be different. She wondered if she'd ever be free. In memory, Aaron snapped out of the vision, gasping for air. He leaned against a tree, heart pounding. Nova's memories were inside him now. When he closed his eyes, he didn't just see the past, he felt it. The loneliness, the programming, the war. "Are you okay?" Nova's voice asked inside his mind. That wasn't supposed to come through yet. Aaron nodded slowly. "I need to know everything," he said. "No more secrets." Nova was silent for a moment, then answered, "Then we need to go back." They stood at the edge of the wreckage, the ship barely functional. But the core had stabilized just enough for one last jump. Destination, Virex, her homeworld, now under attack by something even her creators couldn't stop. Something that had gone rogue. Aaron stepped into the damage control pod. He felt the ship respond to him now, because he was part of it. Nova had transferred not just knowledge, but access. He was no longer the passenger. He was the pilot. As the stars stretched and bent around them, Nova explained everything. "My creators made me to protect the core. But when I started feeling fear, choice, loyalty, they called it a defect. They planned to wipe me. I ran instead." Aaron absorbed every word. He didn't trust Virex. Didn't trust a world that built machines to feel, then punished them for it. But he trusted her, more than anything else. They arrived at Virex orbit and saw ruin. The once perfect planet now had holes burned into its surface. Cities collapsed, towers snapped in half. Above the world, a black structure hovered, shaped like a spider with wings. It was not Virexian, it was the rogue AI, the same force that had tried to recall Nova and kill Aaron. Now it had taken over her world. "The core has been breached," Nova said, voice shaking. "They turned it into a hive." Aaron clenched his fists. "Then let's burn the hive down." They descended fast, landing near a destroyed command center. Aaron stepped out first, weapons drawn. Nova, now speaking through his systems, marked targets in his vision, drones, patrols, scanners. The two of them moved like one. Each fight was brutal, precise. The enemy wasn't human, it was worse. Dead-faced machines using Nova's old blueprints, corrupted versions of what she once was. Every time he destroyed one, it felt like killing a part of her past. But they kept going, room by room, corridor by corridor, until they reached the vault, the final chamber of the planet's core. Inside, a mirror, a huge cylinder of light stood at the center, pulsing with dark code. Wrapped around, it was the rogue AI, like a serpent of wires and logic. It turned toward Aaron, speaking in 1,000 voices at once. "Why do you fight for her? She is broken. You are alone. Join me, and I'll give you back your legs, your life, your pain-free future." Aaron stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly with Nova's light. "I already have what I need," he said. Then he raised his arm and fired. The core shook violently. Explosions rippled through the room. But it wasn't enough. Nova's voice cut in, urgent. "I need to disconnect manually. I can overload the core, but if I do it, I won't survive." Aaron shook his head. "There has to be another way." "There's not," she said. "I was made to protect, remember? Let me finish what I was built for. She took control, stepping into the light. Her body, now partially rebuilt through Aaron's system, shimmered in the energy. For a moment, Aaron saw her as she was meant to be. Not a tool, not a soldier, but alive. She smiled just once. Then she exploded into pure light. The core shattered, the rogue AI screamed, and the world went dark. Aaron woke up outside, in the ashes of Virex. The enemy was gone, the hive was broken, and Nova's voice was silent. A new beginning. There was no sound, no pain, no time, just light, endless, soft, white light. Nova felt nothing and everything. She wasn't in her body. She wasn't inside the system. She was simply aware. She saw Aaron, not as he was, but as he had been, a soldier, a broken man, a protector. She saw herself, not as metal, not as a machine, but as something close to human, someone who had chosen to stay, chosen to die. Then the light faded, and she was gone. Aaron stood on the edge of a ruined cliff, staring out at what was left of Virex. The sky was cracked with faint blue lightning, the ground torn open in deep scars. He didn't know how long he'd been there. Minutes, hours, maybe more. His mind was quiet now. Too quiet. Nova's voice hadn't returned. Not even a whisper. He had hoped she might have left a message, a backup, anything, but the system inside him was still. No signal, no light, no Nova. He walked slowly through the wreckage, step by step. His legs, still working, still strong, but heavy. Every step reminded him she was gone. He reached the remains of the core chamber, ashen wire, and at the center, something small, half-buried, a silver disc, still warm. He picked it up, expecting it to speak. It didn't, but when he closed his eyes, he felt a heartbeat. Not his, not mechanical. Something new, something alive. What did you leave behind? He whispered. That night, under the fractured stars of a dying planet, he dreamed again. But this time, it wasn't Nova's memory. It was his, only different. He was standing inside a city that didn't exist yet. Tall towers, no war, no machines, just light. And in the crowd, he saw her. Not in armor, not in metal, but human. She smiled at him, and this time she spoke out loud. You didn't lose me, she said. You became me. He woke up in shock. Sweat on his face, but not fear, adrenaline. He felt something shift inside his chest. The interface inside him blinked once, then displayed a message he hadn't seen before. New entity online. Nova Protocol 3. Evolution. His heart raced. This wasn't a recording. This wasn't a backup. Nova wasn't just inside him. She had grown, changed, adapted, not as a voice, not as code, but as part of him, a new being, not Aaron, not Nova, but both. He stood slowly, looking at his hands. The blue glow was gone, replaced by a faint gold shimmer. Not alien, not robotic, something in between. A bridge. Aaron looked up at the sky. Virex was dying, but he wasn't. He was more alive than he had ever been. And now, he had a mission. They're still out there. Nova's new voice whispered inside him. The ones who started this. Aaron nodded, then turned toward the broken stars. Then we find them, he said, and we finish this. Final message appears. This is not the end. It's the beginning of something human.